and the head of Guidance and Counseling Department in Faculty of Education, Gorontalo State University. Sir Salim Korompot, SPD, MPD. And welcome for all audience. Okay, for our audience, now we have three speakers from Nigeria. I would like to welcome to the first, Dr. Moromoke Nimoto Raji. She is a full-time lecturer Department of Guidance and Counseling, College of Education, IP2 Ijusa Campus, Osun State University. Hello, Miss.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Miss. What should I call you? Dr.
Moromoke. Moromoke.
Okay. Thank you. And the second speaker is Dr. Yejide Alibiasu. She's a full-time lecturer, Department of Guidance and Counseling, College of Education, IP2 Ijusa Campus, Osun State University. Hello, Miss. How are you?
Good morning.
Oh, yes. What should I call you? Dr. Yejide.
What should I call you?
Yejide is fine.
Oh, Yejide, fine. All right. Thank you so much. And the third, our speaker is Dr. Grace I. Onanga. She is a head of Department Guidance and Counseling also. I go to Ijusa College of Education, Osun State University. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good morning in Nigeria. Yeah. Thank you. What should I call you? Dr. Grace, right?
Grace is okay. Yes, Grace is okay. If it's
Okay,
Dr. Noga.
Yeah, thank you so much. For our moderator today is Miss Laode Eti Hardianti, SPD, MPD. She's a lecturer in she's a lecturer in Education Faculty, Gorontalo State University. She is ready to start the studium general. Okay, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming in this Zoom.
It's a pleasure. It's a great pleasure being with you.
Oh yeah, thank you. Right.
It's a very great pleasure.
So we have several agenda as follows. The first, opening speech from Sir Salim Korompot, SPD, MPD, as Head of Guidance and Counseling Department, Faculty of Education, Gorontalo State University. And the second, opening speech from Dr. Arwil Dayanto, MPD, as the Dean of Faculty of Education, Gorontalo State University. And the last opening speech is from Professor Dr. Phil Ihwan Haris, MSc, as the fourth Vice Rector of Gorontalo State University. And the second agenda is speaker from Dr. Moromoke, Dr. Yejide, and Dr. Grace. Yeah, and the third agenda is question and answer session from our moderator. And the last is closing. Okay. Now the first speech will be delivered by Sir Salim Korompot, SPD, MPD. For Sir, time is yours. Silakan Pak Kajur.
Thank you.
Yes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Dan selamat sore. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning. Okay, thank you to today. Alhamdulillah, we meet Stadium Generale.
Is on the left on the
Thanks for our speaker today. Yeah. Thank you very much for today and all attention. Thank you untuk mahasiswa jurusan bimbingan dan counseling. Terima kasih banyak. Dan terhormat juga Bapak dan Ibu dosen yang ada di lingkungan Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan, dan Bapak dan Ibu peserta lainnya yang berasal dari beberapa perguruan tinggi. Alhamdulillah hari ini bisa sama-sama di sini untuk kegiatan Studium General dengan tema yang adalah Guidance and Counseling in Society 5.0. Semoga pertemuan ini bisa bermakna lebih baik untuk kita yang ada di sini, yang ada di Gorontalo, dan tentu juga bisa berkolaborasi dengan narasumber kita yang berasal dari Onsu State University. Semoga ini bisa menjadi bagian kerjasama untuk kepentingan ke depan. Terima kasih banyak untuk waktunya, dan dalam kesempatan ini mohon kesediaan juga dari Pak Dekan dan Bapak Wakil Rektor 4 untuk memberikan sambutan sekaligus membuka kegiatan pada sore hari. Sekali lagi terima kasih banyak Pak Prof untuk kesempatan ini, dan demikian sambutan ini. Terima kasih banyak, mohon maaf untuk Miss Grace, Miss Murmuke, Miss Ike. I'm sorry, my English is not good, so so I speak in Indonesia language. Sekali lagi terima kasih, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you for Sir Salim Korompot. He said, Alhamdulillah, grateful to God because this event can be better. Nah, they hope he hope we can have make a health relation more. Yeah. Okay, next for opening speech will be delivered by Sir Dr. Arwil Dayanto MPD. For Sir, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Halo, Mr. Moromoke, Miss Moromoke.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, and stay in Manado. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah.
And I will say salam alaikum as well.
Waalaikumsalam, Mr. Moromoke. Mr. Grace, Mrs. Grace. Halo, Miss Yejide. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih pada Prof. Irfan yang memfasilitasi kegiatan Studium General yang dilaksanakan oleh jurusan bimbingan konseling. I would like to express my appreciation for general lectures activity in the form of the webinar, especially Ms. Moromoke, Dr. Grace, and JDD. This special program to enforce UNG reputasi for excellence. Harapan kami kepada mahasiswa bimbingan dan konseling yang mengikuti webinar ini bisa mengikuti dengan baik, karena program ini adalah program yang sangat langka, tidak bisa menghadirkan mitra kita dari Nigeria. Ini sesuatu yang luar biasa dari jurusan bimbingan dan konseling, sehingga kita bisa menaikkan reputasi dan prestasi kita di tingkat internasional. Ini harapan kami. Jadi terakhir kami mengucapkan terima kasih yang luar biasa kepada Prof. Irfan yang sudah memfasilitasi kegiatan ini. Demikian sambutan singkat. Terima kasih Miss Moromoke, Miss Grace, Miss Yejide atas kesediaan memberikan Studium General mahasiswa Universitas Negeri Gorontalo, khususnya mahasiswa bimbingan dan konseling. Demikian, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Nah, okay. Thank you, sir. Terima kasih, Pak Dekan. He said this is excellence and the better event. And he said thank you for all because uh, this is special event for Guidance and Counseling Department in Faculty of Education, Gorontalo State University. Okay. Next, for opening speech will be delivered by Professor Dr. Phil Ihwan Haris, MSc. For Sir, time is yours and may open this event. Pada Pak Wakil Rektor, dipersilahkan.
Okay, thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Very good afternoon for Indonesia and very good morning to our colleague in Nigeria. Welcome to Indonesia, even though only in a virtual visit. But I hope next time not only virtual visit, but presence on site. Yeah. Okay, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to our today international general studium for students of Faculty Education, Universitas Negeri Gorontalo, especially for the student of study program of guidance and counseling. First and foremost, allow me on behalf of Universitas Negeri Gorontalo, Indonesia, to express my gratitude and thanks to three respectful international senior lecturers from Austin State University, Nigeria, namely Dr. Grace E. Ononga, Dr. Yejide O. Alebiosu, and of course, Dr. Moromoko Mimotaraji. I always call her with Romoko Raji because she is my best and a friend, and we did together PhD in Technische Universiteit Dresden or in University of Technology in Dresden. Again, Frau Remoke, yeah. Later I will speak in German language. Okay, later. I would like to explain about why we conduct this Studium Generale for this today or this afternoon or in this morning. And if we choose guidance and counseling, I will remember about maybe for several years ago, the head of department or program study of guidance and counseling in our faculty, in Faculty of Education, asked me about how is the practice of guidance and counseling in Germany. And I have had explained it, and she know already about what is the practice of guidance and counseling in other country. From this opinion, I see I need to share the information from another country who similar with Indonesia. And I know I have one friend, Mr. Moromoke Mimotaraji, who did the PhD in the topic of guidance and counseling. And I met for 1 month ago, and I offer if it's possible to give a lecture to our student in guidance and counseling department or study program. Okay, and maybe I make my speech in short. Yeah, sorry, sometimes I mix English and German. in short, in course. Yeah. Okay. I do hope this first collaboration through international webinar lecture, not the end of our collaboration, but this is the start of our next collaboration. We hope we can expand our international collaboration with academic activities such as research collaboration, joint research, exchange program, or international practicum, etc., and so on. Okay, finally, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you who sincerely committed to make this happen, this event to make it a success. And this event will have been impossible without the support each of everyone present here for both sides in Nigeria also and also here in our faculty of Indonesia. So as you can see here, I use hat here, call in Topi Karanji, our head of department also use this Topi Karanji. Maybe if you come here, Miss Remoka, I can give for your husband, but not in virtual. Inshallah, next time if you visit in Indonesia or will visit your country, I will bring this topi or Karanji in Bahasa in Gorontalo. Yeah, I promise. Yeah, okay. I see here. Okay. So without further ado, allow me to open this Studium Generale officially, which say Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And I sincerely hope you will enjoy today, and I wish you all a very successful lecture session. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Right, thanks sir for opening this event. Okay, to shorten the time, to our moderate Ms. Waode, can we start our general stadium of guidance and counseling society 5.0 now? Silakan Ms. Waode.
Thank you, Mr. Ru, for the
Yeah, you're welcome.
Now I will take over for this webinar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good morning in Nigeria and good late afternoon in Gorontalo. And a very warm welcome to our honorable guests and also for all audience who join us via Zoom meeting and also YouTube to the Stadium Generale with the topic Guidance and Counseling in Society 5.0 that held by Department of Guidance and Counseling, State University of Gorontalo. First and foremost, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Waude Eti, but you can call me Eti. I will be the moderator for today's webinar. And for your information, so far we have 100 participants in Zoom and also about 15 in YouTube channels. So thank you very much for all the participants. And to begin with, it's now my pleasure to introduce each speakers for today's event. And the first speaker is Dr. Grace. She is the head department of guidance and counseling, Osun State University in Nigeria. Hello, Dr. Grace, how are you? Yeah. Yes, still mute your microphone, but yeah, okay. Thank you, Dr. Grace. And moving right along, the second speaker is Dr. Moromoke, a lecturer from Osun State University. How are you, Dr. Moromoke?
I'm fine. I'm glad you understand me.
Thank you. And the last but not least, we have Dr. Yejide, a lecturer at Department of Guidance and Counseling, also from Osun State University. Hello, Dr. Yejide, how are you?
I'm fine. Good morning to you. Good morning.
Thank you. So at this webinar, I think we will have a panel session where each speaker can have a presentation for about 20 to 25 minutes. And I will translate after your presentation. I will try to translate it in Indonesia. So many of our participants can understand and maybe can have questions and be more interactive with the. Is that clear? All right. Well, I think. Yeah. And for the participant, if you have any question, you can write your questions of the chat box in Zoom and also from our YouTube channel. You can write your question in the Indonesia. Jadi bagi para yang ingin bertanya, boleh mengirimkan pertanyaan melalui chat Zoom dalam bahasa Indonesia. Saya akan dalam bahasa Inggris untuk dapat dijawab oleh para pemateri kita. Well, without further ado, it's time to welcome the first speaker, Dr. Grace, to give a presentation. Are you ready, Dr. Grace?
Yes.
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 Yes, I'm ready.
Yes, you're the first presenter. So time is yours, Dr. Grace. Thank you. Hello, Dr. Grace. Do you want to share your PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, I will make you as a co-host so you can share your presentation. Right.
You have not been enabled. I've not never. Let me take it again.
All right.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
Sure.
Yes, I've been introduced already. Dr. Grace Ononga, the head of Department of Guidance and Counseling, Osun State University. I say good afternoon, but for us here, it's good morning. So I am speaking on providing guidance and counseling services during the COVID-19 pandemic. So the novel COVID-19 pandemic that we all know about, it all started on December 2019, but from just a little town in China, Wuhan. But from there, we just discovered that it spreads all over. And the first case was discovered, was detected, and that was reported by WHO. That's by WHO was sent to on December, but some people still think that that was not the first case, but that the first case occurred in November the same year, 2019. So we have common signs of the coronavirus. Sorry, I think I have some. To send it to. No, to discovering some of that. So the common signs of COVID-19 could be dizziness, muscle aches, dry cough, fever, respiratory problems, infection, severe respiratory system, kidney damage, and it could also lead to death. Then this thing is going to. We want to look at the preventive measures that was put in by WHO. That's WHO. That puts up some preventive measures for us in the world to abide with. One is social distancing, and which I know even in Indonesia, you are also abiding by that. And also we have, they put up other measures. We have other measures that they put in, like quarantining. You know, before you enter another country, you have to be quarantined so that we'll be sure that as you are coming in, you are not going to infect any other person. You are not going to infect any other person. So that plan was also put up. And again, there were other, they made some training for staff that would mount all these centers that would take care of those who are infected. Then for us in Nigeria, we had our own preventive measures. When there was high rate of the spread, our government, through the Nigerian Center for Control Disease, that's NCDC, put up some of the strategies that could protect us, like in fact, all the parastatals in Nigeria were all shut down. Both land, border, and airspace were closed. Meetings of federal, executive, legislative, judiciary council were all suspended. In the educational sector, the Nigerian University Commission ordered the lockdown of all university and other affiliated schools. There was also lockdown. I mean, all activities were shut down. There are other measures that were also put in place were social distancing, that is a non-pharmaceutical infection control measure. That is this one, it doesn't need any medicine, just social distancing of maybe a meter from each other. They're staying at home, working from home, restricting guests at home. So no admission, allowing people to visit you at home for safety, avoiding large crowds. In Nigeria, we cannot gather for more than 50 persons. It's only 50. If you are more than 50, you are not supposed to gather. So there is also this regular hand washing with soap. At all times, you need to wash your hands with soap, and then constantly use sanitizer. We use both hand sanitizers and body sanitizers. Then the use of nose masks, which I can see almost all of you, they are on with it. And I am also on with mine. Then the challenges of this thing is okay. The challenges of COVID-19. The challenges of COVID-19. You know, like I said, every business, every parastatal, education, social, all activities were grounded. And for the people. So in Nigeria, there were, for us, because of all these things that were happening, that coronavirus has put on us, we believe that workers, so students, family members, large-scale and small-scale businessmen and women started feeling, had some confusion. That there was confusion, they were downcasted, anxiety, depression, stress, grief, concern about when will this thing end for us to return back to our normal life. Those are the things that we know are a problem, that became a problem. to the people. So COVID-19 has brought total change in the human life and work. However, the experience differs for many reasons. This includes where an individual lives and the type of work engaged in. For some, it means working remotely, that's from wherever, not going to the office. Learning new ways to stay safe in the place of work, or juggling restrictions with work and care. That means you have to work and there are restrictions. You cannot go against such restrictions. Then no matter the age and circumstances, it is important to care for our mental health and know what support is available. Assistance may also be needed to search for a new job or to start study or training. Because of this, many people lost their jobs, so we need to also rehabilitate them in new jobs. Then counseling, this is the core of this lecture. Then counseling services during COVID-19 pandemic. The counselor occupies a significant role during the global pandemic. Successful counseling is aimed at enhancing the coping skills of the client by bringing change in the decision making and behavior change specific to coronavirus pandemic. Therefore, the counselor should engage in the following. 1, encourage safety, health, and hygiene. Very important. There is currently ongoing confusing information to the public. Here, the counselor can check some measures of safety the client is already taking in their family and reliable information alongside and its rationale. Also, the counselor can lay emphasis on clients focusing on taking care of the health of all family members by exploring first the method that the family are already adopting. Then the second one, reducing immediate stress. Clients with high distress level come to the counselor. It is helpful for the counselor to be calm, patient, introduce self, and the purpose of the counseling section. That is very important. Listen attentively, paraphrases, and summarizes the consent of the client. That is after listening to the client's consent. The counselor can ask open-ended questions or explore the consent more. High distress situation, the counselor needs to avoid just jumping into giving solution. He has to be calm about it. Then anxiety management, because there is anxiety at this particular period. So what the counselor does, there is the difficulty posed on individuals by COVID-19 pandemic may cause anxiety to clients. What the counselor should do is to normalize and validate clients' fears. That is important, to normalize and validate clients' fear. It is also important for counselors to talk to clients about what they have control over and what they do not have control over. That is also important. In addition, it is ideal to help and to develop and enhance adaptive coping skills, such as breathing exercise. Very, very important. The next one is take constructive steps towards solving life problems. Clients with worries about life problems can also be helped by the counselor with identifying more realistic, doable strategies that can help solve the problem. Some effective ways that here include the identification of the problem. So you need to identify the problem, then some possible solution. You have to profess some possible solution, test the pros and cons of each of these solutions. You have laid them down, you have brought them to the fore, and then identify the most probable option. So out of all these solutions that you have put on the table for both you and the counselors to look at. The counselor needs and the client together will choose the most probable options that will assist the client. Then we have the increased supportive communication relationship. Here, the counselor helps the client identify the importance of effective communication in the family and other significant other that he relates with. Encourage clients to acknowledge the efforts of outcome, reduce critical feedback, and assist them in the use of more supportive words. So you need to tell the client that he doesn't need to go negative. He should instead use words that can be more supportive to them. Then we have information giving. Counselors need to stay abreast with latest information, available information on COVID-19 through the existing local health authority and website. Example, those from the Center for Disease Control Prevention. Additionally, WHO provides frequent situation reports on the outbreak of COVID pandemic in the world. On their website, videos pertaining to protecting yourself and others from getting sick, coping with stress during the pandemic, practicing food safety, and staying healthy, which are very important while traveling, are provided. So these are areas, if we go to this website, we are going to get more coping strategies. Then it is worthy to know that at this juncture that the different professional bodies in Nigeria, example, Counseling Association of Nigeria, Association of Professional Counselors, Positive Psychology Association of Nigeria in Nigeria are actively involved in providing counseling services such as coping skills and information on COVID-19 to Nigerian populace via virtual platforms. Then school counseling, which is very, very important because we are in the school. As the virus continues to ravage communities around the world, Nigeria inclusive, and even Indonesia, students experience disruption, especially loss of their pre-pandemic normalcy. We are no more in a normal condition now. The Department of Guidance and Counseling provided counseling services to students and their parents. What did they do? The department and the Counseling Association of Nigeria, Osun State Branch, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, went around schools, secondary schools in the state to provide information and educate the students on the issues of issues concerning COVID-19 pandemic. The students were counseled about their academic, social, and emotional lives because the lockdown was traumatic. Then the department mounted the COVID-19 Surveillance and Monitoring Committee to ensure compliance with COVID-19 preventive measures. We maintained communication via virtual platforms with parents, teachers, administrators, and external agents regarding students' academic success and overall well-being. Generally, counselors can help identify students with they're not hearing me. Identify students who need intensive service and coordinate with behavioral help specialists, assist students and parents in understanding school policies, provide brief counseling to address students' social and emotional concern, and refer students to behavioral health specialists when necessary. Collaborate with behavioral health specialists on developing student support system at school. Then counseling skills. In all this, what are the skills that the counselor needs? Counseling is a helping approach that highlights the emotion and intellectual experience of clients, such as how a client feels, thinks, and problems they sought help for. The following skills are needed for effective counseling. Attending. It is suiting for clients when they are attended patiently. That is when we, the counselors, attend to them patiently and hear their concern and speak to them gently with respect. You know, that is very, very important for the dignity of the client. Then active and careful listening. The counselor listens to what the client is saying with the intention to initially understand their challenges holistically. That is the first thing. We need to understand what their fears or their concerns are. Then using open-ended questions, the counselor helps clients to elicit information in more detailed manner, as well as help them to express themselves with questions like, what about the situation that brings you worry? In addition, close-ended questions with yes or no responses can equally be asked for clarity and specific issues. Then we have to demonstrate empathy. You know, this is very important. It's one of the characteristics of a counselor, being empathic. Through empathy, the counselor can connect with the client and provide emotional support. It is important to help clients feel supported in this different and isolating time. This can be demonstrated through a statement like, I noticed that this is an extreme challenging time. Then assurance of confidentiality. You know, this is a key. Be sure of information that has been divulged to you, then there will be no counseling relationship. So as counselors, we need to take this very seriously. Assuring clients of the safety of their information encourages the clients to open up about their worries better. It is only when the situation poses a risk to life will the counselor, with the consent of the client, share only the required details to an emergency contact person or required authority. That we have confidentiality does not mean that there are in all cases. There are cases that it might be dangerous to the client or to another person. So in that, we need the consent of the client to be able to share it with others. Then use of simple language. Counseling is more effective when the counselor communicates in a simplified language with the client, using relevant examples to their life, providing possible strategies in exercise by the client, and explaining concepts in a situation, in a suitable language to the client, a language that the client can understand. Then psychoeducation. This involves providing basic facts, information, and reliable resources to the client regarding their consent. Clients can be directed by bodies that are taking the lead to give us information about COVID-19. Clearly, without any conflicting message, and politely check if the client has understood the information. It is important. And crisis
Excuse me, Dr. Grace. Hello. Oh, I think we lost contact. Maybe the internet connection. There's a problem with the internet connection. We are waiting for Dr. Grace. Yeah. While we are waiting for Dr. Grace, I will try to summarize what.
I am back.
Excuse me, Dr. Grace. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, Dr. Grace. You still mute yourself. Can you unmute yourself? Dr. Grace. I think there's a connection problem. All right.
Yes.
All right. Yes. Thank you. Continue, please.
Yes, I'm back.
Yeah.
I can continue.
Yes.
Okay. So assessing risks to safety and crisis management if required through referral. So as counselors, there are times we have issues that we cannot handle by ourselves, like cases like suicide, whether the client is at the thinking of harming himself, thinking of suicide, whether he's even planning to commit suicide or he violence. These are areas that we counselors can refer to the. So addressing this of stigma and discrimination, if any, during this period, those who are even infected or their relatives are being discriminated against. So what we do here as counselors, identify the kind response from neighbors towards the person and significant others, provide clients with correct information about COVID-19 pandemic spread and resource they can take home and how to relate with other and show it also to their relatives and friends. We have already said that there are many resources that we can give to the client to assist them and their family friends. Provide clients with emergency contact numbers in case of incidences of attack or violence from the neighborhood. That is important. Making suitable referral and connecting with other support services. Counselors can help contacts of some authorities in case of emergency, as well as provide them to clients when they need it. Like agencies like the police, medical, women, census, and mental health helpline numbers. Those ones are important. Counselors can also identify specific needs of the client and support them in identifying local support services for the same. They can include medical and glossary delivery numbers. To the counselor can take them through the process of problem solving through these steps. We may not go through the steps. You can see the steps there. You see the steps there. Then generating realistic help and bolstering strength. All individuals possess inherent ability. There's nobody that does not have ability to be able to cope with challenges. All the counselor needs to do at this time is to assist. Then activities virus, there is a lockdown, people will just be at home. So the counselor can assist them. One, sleep hygiene, that the client or people should sleep. Then keep away from the use of electronic devices such as mobile laptops at least 2 hours before bedtime. But in case it is very necessary, it is advisable to work with night light mode. Then dress before bed by taking a relaxing bath, breathing or deep breath, physical activities in the form of exercise or yoga, deep breath or progressive muscle, deep breath breathing or a progressive muscle relaxation, fun family time and connecting with loved ones via virtual platform, then schedule time for work. Then, in all this, because of coronavirus, it has become very necessary for us as counselors to move or to reduce the face-to-face interaction to go with counseling appears to be a phenomenon within counseling palace. It is a modern means of communication between the counselor and the client in section via internet without a stipulated period of within a stipulated period of at least once a week in a year or 6 months, with a regular purpose of assisting clients in discovering themselves and making useful choices in relating to their educational, vocational, and personal social needs. It is extensive information and communication technology, which evolved 2015 prescribed as generation, storage, dissemination, and eliciting of relevant information for therapeutic encounter. And what are these virtual platforms? They include emails, chats, video conferences, text messages, or short text messages that we can use widely, which we in Nigeria have been using to reach out to clients. With all this that we have said, I know that the coronavirus pandemic is not new to anybody, but this is just a brief lecture on what we can do as counselors to assist clients stay safe, and even their members by providing counseling, especially information, because there are different information, false information, confusing information. But when counselors come in and do all this, it will assist the client, and it will help all of us in the society to stay safe from this pandemic. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Grace, for your great presentation. Is that okay if you can send your presentation to us? Like some of our colleagues asking about this material. If you don't mind.
We can. We'll do that later.
Thank you so much. All right, I'll try to summarize, maybe just in the short summarize for the audience, so they can maybe understand and more one or to ask question about this material. Ya, jadi saya akan mencoba untuk memberikan kesimpulan yang sederhana atau yang bisa saya tangkap dari apa yang sudah dijelaskan oleh Dr. Grace. Jadi Dr. Grace tadi menjelaskan tentang bagaimana keadaan pandemi di Nigeria, sama seperti Indonesia, banyak sekali langkah-langkah pencegahan yang dilakukan, mulai dari memakai masker, mencuci tangan, menjaga jarak, dan sebagainya. Itu dilakukan, bahkan mereka mengambil misalnya menutup semua aktivitas ataupun transportasi, semua dibatasi, bahkan beberapa bisnis harus tutup karena pandemi ini. Baik, jadi Dr. menjelaskan tentang bagaimana konseling di sekolah, bagaimana para konselor harus hadir baik untuk murid dan juga selama tahap pandemi ini. Kemudian beliau juga menjelaskan tentang beberapa kemampuan atau skill yang bisa dilakukan. Yang pertama mulai dengan kita aktif mendengarkan dari klien yang ingin konsultasi, kemudian kita bisa menggunakan pertanyaan-pertanyaan open-ended yang menanyakan, yang membutuhkan jawaban di mana si klien bisa bercerita panjang lebar tentang apa yang dia rasakan. Kita harus menunjukkan rasa empati tentang apa yang dirasakan oleh klien tersebut. Kemudian harus memberikan rasa aman bahwa apa yang kita ceritakan bisa tidak disebarluaskan kepada orang lain. Kemudian kita juga bisa menggunakan kata-kata yang sederhana sehingga mudah dimengerti oleh klien di saat-saat sulit ini. Kemudian kita juga bisa melakukan memberikan support atau membantu menyediakan atau memberi informasi support apa saja yang tersedia untuk mendukung klien tersebut. Kemudian kita satu hal yang menarik bahwa Dr. Grace mengatakan bahwa kita bisa melakukan e-counseling atau electronic counseling, di mana kita tidak harus bertatap muka, menghindari kontak langsung, tapi kita bisa melakukan melalui seperti Zoom, mungkin saja lewat text message atau lewat WhatsApp, dan berbagai aplikasi-aplikasi lain yang bisa kita gunakan untuk mendukung klien tersebut di masa-masa sulit ini. Ya, kira seperti itu. Baik, bagi para peserta yang ingin bertanya, silakan menuliskan pertanyaannya sebelum kita berpindah kepada speaker selanjutnya. Jadi nanti di akhir setelah speaker ketiga baru kita sesi tanya jawab sehingga lebih maksimal. Jadi silakan ditulis pertanyaannya di chat ataupun yang di YouTube, silakan menulis di komentar di YouTube. Well, I think we are going to move to the next speaker while we are waiting for the participants to ask questions. So they are going to write their question on the chat. I think I see already write the question, but we will answer all the questions. I think after the third speakers already present their presentation. All right. Thank you, Dr. Grace. Now we are moving along to Dr. Maromoke. Hello, Dr. Maromoke. Hello. Maybe stop sharing the screen. I mean, Dr. Grace. Okay, Dr. Maromoke, can you hear me? All right. So time is your Dr. Maromoke. You can start your presentation now. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, you still mute. Can you unmute your microphone?
Well, it's a great pleasure to have
Hello, Dr. Maromoke. Maybe you can like unmute yourself. We cannot hear your voice. I'm sorry.
Oh,
all perfect.
Okay. Good morning once again, and I want to greet you in the beautiful language that you understand best, and I also understand best. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
It's a great pleasure having opportunity to work together on the exchange of academic lectures with your university. Like your deputy rectors have rightly said, we were together at a technical university, Dresden, for 4 years. We actually share the same office.
All right, so you're best friend.
So it's more or less my best friend, and we had the same PhD supervisor. So we share a lot of things together, and it's a great time having the privilege to work together.
All right.
My HOD, head of department, have done justice to what we put online to prove our worth as a guidance counselor, professional ones in Nigeria and all over the world. Because what I'm going to discuss is on guidance counseling and its implementation in Nigeria's school and the universities. So my presentation will follow this guideline. I believe that our education system should be talked on what type of education system we run in Nigeria, and when is this modern guidance counseling started in Nigeria? Because guidance counseling is part of our culture. Our village people, community leader, pastor, imam, traditional religions have way of helping our people out of problem. So, but the modern guidance counselor, when do we have it in Nigeria? We are going to talk about it. The objective, the services of a guidance counselor, and I want to also conclude my presentation with who are the major stakeholders to work with if you're in the practice of guidance counseling. Nigeria has 6-3-3-4 system of education. And what do I mean by that? It is expected that each and every child must spend 6 years in primary school. And after 6 years of primary school for education, there will be qualified exam to qualify that child to continue his education in secondary school. But our secondary school is divided into two. That is the one in the middle. The first 3 years is for junior secondary school. So after the junior secondary school, the result of the exam, the state exam, will determine whether that student will continue learning in secondary school or move to technical and vocational education sectors. So, like I rightly said, you either continue to learn after junior secondary school, from to senior secondary school, which you will spend another 3 years before you write the state and federal state exam and West Africa examination exam. Or you move to technical college and you write NAPTEP. That is the National Business Education Exam. Those who are going to be in entrepreneur, vocational and trade-oriented program. The 4 years at the end implies tertiary education. The tertiary education can be direct after the qualified exam state. We have state exam for that as well, which we call universal JAMB. So the Joint Admission Matriculation Board conducted the exam. So is either you make the cutoff list and you start learning from the university, or you go to post-technic. And we have another one, 3 years of National Certificate on Education, which is qualify you to teach in primary school. So I want to move this to a short historical background of modern guidance counseling in Nigeria. I consulted Oladile 2007, which traced the history of former guidance counselor in Nigeria on vocational counseling. The first counseling that we have in Nigeria is on vocational counseling. And it came through the intervention of some Christian sisters, which in their own school, they counseled 60 female graduates of St. Teresa College, Ibadan, on how to select make decisions for their future career. And this was done in 1956. The success of their first engagement with these 60 female students prompted them to forge ahead, and they extended the fast service to Ibadan and other schools in Ibadan. And after that, if something records success, people will buy into it. Other people bought into it, and that influenced the creation of Ibadan Career Council in 1961 by the principal of post-primary school, and also representative from Ministry of Education, Health Ministry, Labor, Trade, and Industry. Don't forget that I said the architect of modern guidance counselor in Nigeria is on vocational and career guidance, which is my area of focus in research. The Association Metamorphosis into Nigeria Career Council. And from that on, in 1961, more body in the federal school begin to associate with the Ibadan Career Counselor activities. A member of Ibadan Career Counselor organized Career Talk. I think that should be happening in your country as well, that counselor go to visit secondary school to organize career talk for their graduating students, or students that are moving from junior secondary school to senior secondary, so that they will make wise and informed decisions. So interview was also conducted on students, and their service enabled people to understand their strengths and their weaknesses, their like and dislike, special attitude, and the training needed for specific career, because every discipline has a special training that is required. The success of it by the career counselor attracted the attention of other body, and this led to creation of Counseling Association of Nigeria in 1975 at the University of Ibadan. The importance of career guidance became clear to the federal government of Nigeria, and they put a clause in the National Policy of Education in 1998, which read thus. My colleague will do more in-depth analysis on the national policy on counseling program in Nigeria. It was written in view of the apparent ignorance of many young people about the career prospect, and in view of the personality maladjustment, the social problem we are having among school children. Career officers and counselors shall be appointed in post-secondary school education. That was boldly written as a clause, as a paragraph in the National Policy on Education. And this necessitates the introduction of program of training program, that is professional training program for guidance counselor. Before then, we are just having career master, but now a program started to train guidance counselor in Nigeria University and even at the colleges of education. So what are the objectives of starting modern guidance counseling? A lot of it will still be discussed, in depth of it will be discussed by my colleague, but I just want to summarize the objective here. It helps students to develop awareness of opportunity around them on their personal, social, education, and vocational area by providing them with appropriate and useful information. That useful information that is adequate, that is accurate, that can make them make an informed decision. Also, assist all students in making appropriate and satisfactory personal, social, and vocational and leisure choices. If you make a wrong choice, it can avoid one life forever. So it's demand that a professional guidance counselor is around to give an informed guide and help to every individual child in a school. So it also helps to develop positive attitude about self. Everybody needs help. Nobody is perfect. So if you have people around you to give you professional assistance on how to plan your life, on how to live a productive life, it helps better. So it also helps students to acquire a positive image of self through self-understanding and self-direction earlier in life. For instance, by the time we are growing, if we really have professional hands to guide us on how we take decision on our life, maybe some of us will be studying other programs, will be in other profession today. But we are not saying that we regret it. We are proud teachers and we love what we are doing. But at times, if you see some quality of yourself, you still feel that if you have somebody to assist you in your developmental stage, you will have done better. It also helps to build and shape student perception of reality and develop sense of independence and achieve motivation. So it assists students to develop positive attitude to fellow Nigerians. You must love your country, and that is why when we can move forward ahead in life. So it's very crucial that guidance counselors are around to promote in our people, in our citizens, the need to develop sense of communal commitment, humanitarian feeling for others, being compassionate to others. So these are the objectives of guidance counseling in Nigeria. Okay, what are the services we offer in schools in Nigeria, and how do we implement it? This is what I want to talk on now. We have appraisal service. I think you are familiar with the word appraisal service, individual analysis. What do we mean by individual analysis? Collecting and analyze data that will enable parents, teachers, and administrators to better understand students' academic and vocational skill. We are created differently. So there are instruments we use for this. Experts have developed some questionnaires. There are also that can be used professionally to diagnose each and every individual personality type, your area of interest, your hobby, and your academic potentials. So that every individual will make an informed decision. This is our service. We carry out that in secondary school and the university. Also, counseling service, as the name implies, counseling individual student or group of individual, which could be one-on-one or group of students. So we thought, I said it, my head of department said we organize also during the COVID-19 pandemic. We go around the school, organize information on how better we can manage COVID-19. That it will not continue spreading in our society. That we do all this. And for those who, even the parents, the committee will move together to help one another under this information service. The function involves the collection of data in diverse areas of education, career, and social life, which are to be presented and in order to be well informed and facilitate good decision making in an increasing complex society. We are in the age of modern technology. A lot of fake news is all over the places. So it is the role of the guidance counselor to bring the reality of what is going on in the society to the school system and even the university system. Otherwise, our children will get it wrong. And that is why we are here. So that's part of our service in Nigeria. Planning. A house that's built without plan can easily collapse. And that's also relevant to every individual. Life must
Hello, Dr. Moromoke. There is some connection issue here. All right, I think we lost connection with Dr. Moromoke. Sepertinya ada gangguan dengan jaringan yang dialami oleh Dr. Moromoke. Baik. Sambil kita menunggu beliau, jika ada pertanyaan dari para partisipan, silakan memberikan pertanyaan baik di Zoom maupun melalui link YouTube yang sudah disediakan. Ya. Oh, you're back. Yes. You still mute yourself. Can you unmute your microphone? Yeah.
Okay. Now, I've done that. Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, all clear.
Okay, is my presentation is shared?
No, not yet. You can share it again. You can share your presentation.
Share the screen like very long.
Yeah.
Make it big. Moment. Okay. I'm coming in a moment.
All right. Sorry.
Oh no. So, what is happening? I think I've...
No, it's not display yet. All right. Okay. I think there's connection issue. All right. We have to be patient, right? This is the art of doing online webinar. We have to be patient if there is some error or some connection problems. All right. Ya. Sejauh ini kita sudah ada beberapa pertanyaan di chat. Jadi bila ingin bertanya dan ingin menanyakan pada pemateri siapa, bisa menuliskan namanya untuk ke pemateri yang mana. Nanti kita akan tanyakan pertanyaannya. Seperti itu ya. Oke. Kita masih menunggu Dr. Maromoke untuk kembali menampilkan presentasi ini. Semoga bisa tersambung lagi. Oke. Well, I think while we will continue the presentation, I think we will invite the third speaker, Dr. Yejide. Oh, now is Dr. Moromoko is here. All right. Hello, Dr. Moromoke. I cannot hear you. Can you like unmute yourself? Is everything all right? Can you continue the presentation? All right. Yes. Yes, we can see this.
I'm sorry about it. Yeah, that's what we are coping with.
That's the art of
new normal. The word, not only peculiar to Nigeria. I even because I speak with my colleague in Germany that say back in Germany, they still say that this virtual learning is not yet.
Yes, it happens everywhere.
Function.
Yes.
So that is the situation. So yeah. I think I was on planning.
All right.
That we offer planning service in both secondary school and in tertiary institutions. And how do we go about it? We assist the students to plan their education, vocational, and personal activities in such a way that they will be able to achieve their goal, to reach their destiny. So everybody needs some professional hand to put them aright. So when they are growing up, and it's more important now than before because we are in the age of technology. Globally, so we need to assist our students both in the secondary school and the university to have a solid plan for their life so that they can attain their goal. Placement service, guardian counselor, when you have assisted people to plan their life, so you let them understand that they belong, their potentials, their personality type, their area of interest, their hobby will function well in social science-oriented discipline, or in science-oriented discipline, or in art-oriented discipline. That you place them in that, you assist them. You don't impose your decision on them based on the information you have put together that can also readily convince. You place them in appropriate discipline. we go out extra mile to fulfill that in secondary school and the university system. After placement, you have to follow up. Are they making progress? If there's no progress, what can be done to assist them to cope better? So we also go extra mile using theories, local, our local, because we have our own standard that we also used in our different community to assist our people to cope effectively with their school system. So and also we engage in consult. What's next? I'm coming, please. Okay, consulting service, as the name implies, consultation will here refer to interaction between the guardian counselor and other professionals. We are not an island. We need to work with other professionals. Either they need our assistance to move to forge ahead in life, or also we will need to borrow ideas. For example, what we are trying to establish now, we prayed for a more successful collaboration. We will need to work with other people in other disciplines. For example, we cannot solve all the problem alone. If they require a medical doctor or even our colleague, we make consultation service, referral service. We refer situation and challenges that is beyond our professional status to other professionals, so that we can require solution that will allow the individual that we are trying to assist to move on in life and to become a successful individual. In summary, the function of guidance counselor in a school setting is to assist each student to understand his or herself, promoting the skill that enable them live effectively within the society, to be productive to themselves, to their immediate community, and to the larger world. So, like I've actually said, it is important to work in team. Who are our stakeholders? Without students, all of us may not be too relevant in our profession that we have chosen. Our student is our first major stakeholder. We work with them, we give them love, we treat them like our own child. The teacher, you agree with me, teacher knows a lot about their student, and we need to work together to get their accurate data about every student. School principal, they are our stakeholders. Without them, it may be difficult to work with secondary school. Parents and guardians, that is not to be exaggerated. They know their children and they can work with us to get results. The community leader, like I rightly said, before the advent of modern guidance counseling, we have our own way of solving problems. There are problems that are beyond the Western theories. We have to come back to the local people to work with them to get things done. They will also assist in materials and financial support when we want to carry out. And Ministry of Education, government, Ministry of Education, like my HOD have rightly said, during this era of COVID, we work a lot with them. And we draft policy paper, and our academic paper can only be imparting in the society when you carry them effectively along. So we work along with them. Government, political office holder, they can influence a lot of things. We don't take them for granted in our struggle. Okay, and the local and national and international organizations, they are our partner, like we are doing now. University of Golantoro, if I pronounce it well, is already our partner in progress. So, and we are dreaming big to really work together to get better results. The success of guidance counselors work can only be guaranteed when team-based approach is adopted. And that's what we cherish most. in Osun State University and other university in Nigeria, also in secondary school. I thank you very much for your attention. These are the few literature I consulted during the preparation for this presentation. And in the language that Ifan and I understand, I'm saying, feeling down for Ire Obsman's hand cry. I hope I understand. I hope and wish I understand Indonesia. I will have said also in the international language. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Maybe you can come and visit Indonesia. Maybe you can learn the language itself.
You tell me one.
All right, thank you very much for your amazing presentation, Dr. Moromoke. And now I'm trying to summarize for the audience. Baik, jadi tadi sudah diberikan pemaparan yang luar biasa dari Dr. Moromoke. Disebutkan bahwa apa saja servis-servis atau layanan yang diberikan di sekolah atau di universitas. Jadi disebutkan bahwa konseling yang diberikan di kampus atau layanan yang diberikan mulai dari appraisal service, yaitu memberikan analisis bagi setiap individual yang ingin mungkin berkonsultasi tentang akademik ataupun karir nantinya yang akan dilakukan setelah selesai sekolah ataupun kampus setelah selesai universitas. Kemudian diberikan juga counseling service atau yang sering kita dengar dengan layanan counseling, mulai dari bercerita tentang apa saja harapan mereka, ide-ide mereka, ketakutan atau perasaan yang dihadapi saat ini. Kemudian ada juga informasi mereka berikan layanan terkaitan dengan area dari pendidikan mereka, karir yang ingin mereka tekuni, dan tentang kehidupan sosial dari para klien. Kemudian disebutkan juga tadi ada kutipan yang sangat baik bahwa kesuksesan dari pekerjaan seorang konselor itu bisa didapatkan saat menerapkan approach atau pendekatan team-based approach atau pendekatan berdasarkan tim. Jadi semua pihak terlibat, mulai dari si student atau murid atau mahasiswa, guru atau dosen, kepala sekolah atau pimpinan di fakultas, orang tua atau para wali, komunitas yang ada di sekitar anak tersebut, bahkan sampai tingkatan yang lebih tinggi mulai dari kebijakan dari pemerintah ataupun layanan bantuan yang diberikan baik dari dalam negeri maupun luar negeri. Jika ada yang ingin bertanya, silakan di chat, dan sekarang kita akan berpindah kepada speaker terakhir, Dr. Yejide. Well, I think I already explained to the participants. Now we are going to move to the last but not least presentation, the Dr. Yejide. Hello, Dr. Yejide. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can. No. Yes, I can. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Well, I think Dr. Moromoke, maybe you can stop share the presentation.
Okay.
Yes. And if you don't mind,
can
you send
yes, well, we'll step it down.
your
Okay.
presentation to our I will write down the email, and maybe you can send it for the conference also. And
we will do that. I will share it immediately with the Professor Edufan.
Thank you. Now we are moved to Dr. Yejide. Dr. Yejide, start your presentation now. Thank you.
No, go ahead. Okay. That's a good one. Just step it down. Let's share it.
Dr. Yejide,
Yes, I'm on.
yeah, you want to share your presentation? Maybe share screen.
Okay. Is it shared?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so very much. Good morning.
May I go with my colleagues to say salam alaikum to the Indonesia world?
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Yejide Alebioshu from the Department of Guidance and Counseling, Osun State University, here in Nigeria. I want to start by appreciating Professor Harris for making this collaboration a reality. Your gesture is well appreciated by Osun State University. And I'm speaking on behalf of my colleagues that we appreciate this great move and we hope this gets extended to the future. I'm talking on policies and strategies of Nigerian government regarding the implementation of guidance and counseling in schools, universities, and societies. Talking about this, sorry, I learned you're not seeing me. Okay.
We can hear you. Maybe you can like full screen.
Oh, okay, let me see. Well, I can't seem to locate where the fault is. Let me continue. Probably I'll be able to get to what I need to. Screen on here, and the screen is not showing.
Oh, well, it's showing, but you can continue. Yes, we can see the screen.
You okay? Okay, it's fine now. Thank you.
All right.
Can you still see me? Well, let me continue with the presentation. The main objective of the paper is to provide information on policies and strategies of the Nigerian government regarding the implementation and administration of guidance and counseling services in human establishments, with emphasis on schools. When we talk about schools, in school, I want to put together the primary and the secondary education such that it will be self-encompassing. We have to talk about in school as regards primary and secondary, as well as tertiary and the society. So the objective will focus on discussing the goals of guidance and counseling, understanding how to get stakeholders interested in the counseling program, and examining the policies of the Nigerian government as regards guidance and counseling in schools. And lastly, understanding and implementation of the program. Goals of guidance counseling, I will just mention a few. And basically, we know it is to promote the fulfillment of the individual, both students and staff, and their integration into the society. Another goal is to help individuals achieve an enduring understanding of his own mechanism of adjustment, thereby helping him to solve his basic problems. It also helps to establish close ties between education and the world of work, and to guide the individual towards the types of occupation that best suits its aspiration and attitudes. Further, it helps individuals to become more flexible in their perception to life and help them to adopt more realistic goals in their vocational career. It also helps individuals to change antisocial behaviors, even long-established ones like alcoholism, drug use, cultism, smoking, and entire behavior modification. Now, the present guidance and counseling in Nigeria's school system, as my colleague has already said, guidance and counseling is an age-long thing. And I want to say it's an age-long systemic culture of informal education targeted to assist individuals to produce positive life outcomes. But however, these services are not what can be done during a classroom process alone because of the holistic and all-round development scope that it carries. You know, it extends beyond just education. It goes into vocation, it goes into socio-personal, it goes into behavioral, and so many. Having a look into the past 2 decades gives us a picture of the Nigerian government's awareness on personality maladjustment and ignorance of students on career prospects, promotion in school, and other influences. And this exerted so much pressure on the government such that it needs to reform its ideologies in respect of professional counseling services in schools. It therefore became germane to consider the relevance of the establishment or activation of new policies that would assist these services in the educational curriculum. These were noted by Okocha and Alika and attributed to paucity of professional counselors. They saw professional counselors, the paucity of professional counselors as a major hindrance to carry out the government mandate on counseling program in Nigeria. On the other hand, Alao noted that paucity of professional counselors could be responsible, but at the same time, it is not solely responsible, as parental attitude has also contributed immensely to the failure of the educational system, not just paucity of professional counselors. Alao now carried a survey out, and he went through 100 secondary schools in Ondo State, Nigeria. Ondo State is in western part of Nigeria, and he investigated 100 secondary schools. In these 100 secondary schools, he noted that 73 of the secondary schools made provision for counseling services, only 73%. The other 27% had no provision at all for counseling services in Ondo State. He further reported that out of these 73 that had provision for counseling services, only 34 had trained counselors, which means 39 of them were actually using untrained counselors to fill in the gap of professional counselors, which we know is not really appropriate because the professionalism cannot be overlooked. Another observation revealed that guidance and counseling in Nigeria's school system has not received appropriate position in the various levels of education, in spite of its pronouncement as being indispensable in the 6334 system of education. This 6334 system of education being practiced in Nigeria consists of the 6 is basically targeted at primary education, where you need to spend 6 years in primary, 3 in the first stage of the secondary education, then the second 3 years in the second phase of the secondary education, and the final 4 takes you to the tertiary level of education, which is your choice. It's discriminatory. I mean, you can choose to go into the university, colleges of education, or polytechnic. Guidance and counseling service in Nigerian primary school. This might sound a bit unusual, but the Nigerian system, the Federal Ministry of Education, introduced this even in the Nigerian primary school. That means that the Federal Ministry of Education has been able to recognize the need to attend to children's needs even at a very early age. And the primary school were considered as very germane because at this stage, children are so impressionable. It is an impressionable period which runs through pre-adolescent stage. That's why it is assumed that the primary stage goes between 6 and 12 years. And 12 years kickstarts the pre-adolescent stage, during which a lot of developmental changes take place within an individual. All these changes, in a way, they affect the thinking and the logistics and the peculiarities of these children if they are not well attended to, or if they are negatively attended to. So there are objectives of having guidance and counseling in Nigerian primary schools, but I'll go to having them in secondary schools. Guidance and counseling in Nigerian secondary school. Let me go into how the guidance and counseling was initiated in secondary school. The first attempt to introduce guidance and counseling services in Nigerian secondary schools dated back to 1947, according to Iwuama 91. At this time, representatives from the Ministry of Labor were sent to Old Bender State. Bender State is part of the western region of Nigeria, to give informal talks to Form 5 students on career and subject choice. It was an informal one. After this occasion, another official case was recorded in 1959 at St. Teresa's College, where some Catholic nuns arranged some educated people from Ibadan community who were professionals in their own fields of work, although they were not trained as counselors, but they were professionals in their own chosen field of work, to come together to assist secondary school leavers who were having problems with admission into higher institutions, having problems with employment, and even with adjustment into the condition of the society. And this actually became the onset of guidance and counseling with the name Ibadan Career Council in 1962. And they published the first academic journal titled Career. This was really a remarkable effort and a remarkable development in guidance counseling in Nigeria, as it became the onset of workshops for vocational and career courses. Briefly, let me go into the objectives. I'll just go into 2-3. It helps students to take appropriate steps in making educational, social, vocational, and psychological lifelong decisions. These decisions are necessary so that the students will be able to gain adequate knowledge and understanding about their skills, their attitudes, and values that they need to inculcate in order to live functionally in a constantly changing society. Another objective is that it equips students with the skills of making appropriately satisfying choices. It helps them to develop positive image, and it assists them to effect smooth transition from one educational level to another. Not only is it targeted to students, it also assists teachers and other staff members and parents in assisting and understanding the needs and problems of these students individually. Now, going to the last strata of education, which is the guidance and counseling services in Nigerian high schools of learning, which we want to tag tertiary institutions. In the present age, the world is actually getting entangled in social networking. And adolescents are exposed to several vices. We already know they have tendencies to get influenced negatively. In such situations, well-equipped counseling centers and professional counselors are needed to manage these enormous psychosocial challenges that these students may have wrought on them, consequent upon the usage of these social networking exposures. The challenges among students in higher institutions, among others, seem to include problems that are associated with late adolescence and early adulthood, adjustment to the autonomous life of tertiary institutions, and preparation for life outside the school system, which most times is a life, world life, work life. It is imperative to address these various problems to enable the students to live well-adjusted and crisis-free lives so that they can transit through life and, if possible, with the competent professional advice given to them, they can effectively, go through life with as well-balanced and adjusted individuals. guidance and counseling services in Nigerian institutions continued. Most university managements are guilty of not providing adequate accommodation for counseling services, but they rushed to put together some activities at accreditation exercises. Well, I'm not sure this is peculiar to our climb. I want to assume maybe it cuts across, but we know that this is a culture that is usually, perpetrated by some management, and this usually becomes an impromptu arrangement. When offices are converted and furniture are converted into counseling units. This temporary arrangement gives a very, very false concept about the availability of these counseling services in schools. And it shows that such an environment that this happens, they don't really understand nor have come to accept the enormous importance of guidance and counseling services in school. Because if they do, I believe they should have a regular service on ground, not making wishy-washy and impromptu arrangements. To this effect, a blueprint was developed in 2005 on guidance counseling with the objective to ensure that the nation's higher institutions provide support services that can aid the realization of the national education goals. These goals include equipping students with knowledge, attitude, and skills that are appropriate for development of adequate social skills. Also, it assists students in adjusting to the life and culture of the tertiary institution and helps them for self-improvement both at school and later life. Having guidance and counseling in school also highlights dangers inherent in social vices, which we need to help students to develop better interpersonal skills, which will be useful for them even in the world of work. However, we know that in these schools, even where we have counseling services, being practiced in full, we realize some of them have challenges that they face. Like my contemporary spoke, we went to some schools to promote COVID practices, observing COVID norms, and through the schools in Osun State. But there were some challenges that we see that could actually be noticed that we need to improve on, not only localized there in Osun State, in Nigeria as a whole, and probably in external clients. We have lack of appropriate accommodation or location for counselors and counseling units. Ethically, we know counseling is a confidential service that needs to be provided in a private and enclosed office in order to allow the counseling to open up to the counselor. Most heads of units, heads of schools and teachers hold in the notion that guidance counselors may want to usurp their power and authority, and they fail to acknowledge the autonomous status of counselors. And you see them putting them, in administrative blocks somewhere, putting them to find a location under trees and all that, which are not really ethical for effective counseling practice to go on. Non-clarification of counselors' role in a school setting is another challenge, as we see most schools expecting these counselors to double up their roles also as regular classroom teachers. This also happens in universities in tertiary, where we see the counselors being made to do some administrative work in student affairs units. Student affairs units, basically we see them as wanting to enforce rules and regulations of the institution. You now wanting a counselor to run under that, wherein a counselor is supposed to be assisting or rehabilitating. You want them to work as if they are, going into enforcing rules. This might not be so appropriate. So time allocation, we have that as another challenge, as definite time are not usually allocated to counselors in schools. They would rather give them break time or end of school time, which is not convenient for children. The students need time to settle their brain. That's why they have break time. They also need time to relax after classes. That's why they have end of school hours. So now imposing the time for counseling during break time or after school time is not so convenient for both the counselors who are already exhausted by their regular duties in classroom and the students as well. And also it's not convenient for parents who would have their time lapse for their children to return home. And several other challenges, let me run through it: lack of staffing, culture of confidentiality, and it is very key in African culture. You know, Africans have the tendency to keep to their needs. We keep to ourselves, we keep our problems to ourselves until they get out of hands. You know, we have this notion of probably people will make jest of me when they know I have this challenge, when they know I'm going through this, so they tend to keep it to themselves. And even we have some staff in schools wanting to pry into the reasons why students are going into a counseling session. Why did you go there? I mean, this culture, we need to really look into that. It's a challenge. Shortage of personnel, lack of recognition, and insufficient psychological testing is another point I'll look at before running to the next topic. The appropriateness of a psychological test is very important. If a psychological test that a counselor is using in an environment does not tally or comply with the culture, the context of that environment, it might not really give you what the results you desire. So, but we realize that most parts of here, my client, we have been able to adopt several psychological tests that were foreign to our culture. You know, we have several psychological tests. We have student habit tests, we have study habit tests, we have adolescent development tests, and all that. You know, but we need to have those that are appropriately domiciled to our own culture, that are relevant to us. Lack of finance is another, lack of funding, and lack of occupational information, societal attitude, and all that. We need to get stakeholders interested in the guidance and counseling program. As it has been enumerated, we have the head of school as one stakeholder, one strong and solid stakeholder, because without the cooperation of the head of school, whether in school or tertiary, without the cooperation of the principal, the headmistress, or the vice chancellor, it might be difficult for a guidance and counseling program to run effectively. So you need to move them along. They are stakeholders, the staff members as well, and teachers in school. Parents need to be carried along. Board of governors need to be carried along, because all these are major stakeholders, as students are as well. Some recommendations are given. I'll just mention a few of them. You know, Nigeria is undergoing enormous changes in development and several other social pressure situations that are attached to it. On the other hand, Nigerian citizens themselves are faced with challenges of having to adjust to these situations in the schools and the society. And these have necessitated the sustenance of guidance and counseling service in our schools, as well as in the society, especially as it concerns the young ones who are just being nurtured into accepting the new life they found themselves, especially the new normal stage. We have recommendation on financial autonomy that should be given to institutions, especially to counseling units. We need to create awareness and enlighten schools, teachers on the aims and objectives of guidance and counseling for their corporation. We need to encourage referral services. Most times we see counselors believing they can actually solve every situation on their own, that they can prescribe or give assistance to every situation. But we need to acculturize into these referral activities so that we know we need to go beyond our own capacity. Liaising with the community, liaising with parents and students, all these are recommendations that we need to go through for us to have counseling program effectively run in school, which includes primary and secondary and tertiary institutions. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you. God bless you. Salam alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Yejide, for the great presentation. Now we are moved to the question and answer session. I see a lot of participants already sent their questions to the to this Zoom chat, and I will read each question, and I would like to share the question to all of our beautiful speakers for today. Well, I think the first question is from our lecturer in guidance and counseling, Dr. Abdul Qadir Hussein. He asked about how you manage the client and you give service during the pandemic COVID-19. How it different with the normal time. And the second question, how to prepare the professional counselor in Nigeria, is that after they've complete their bachelor degree, they still have to do some training in education to make them more professional. Is that what happened in Nigeria? I think two questions first. I would like to ask Dr. Grace or Dr. Moromoke to give, and also Dr. Yejide to give some answer about these questions. Thank you.
The first question is not clear.
On COVID, the question on COVID.
About how to manage.
Dr. Grace, maybe you can use your microphone, unmute and mute.
What I'm saying, I didn't get the question on COVID. Please, let me get the question. This breaking that is talking.
Excuse me, Dr. Grace. Do you want me to repeat the question?
Yes, please, I want the question.
The question is how the client interest to do some counseling during COVID, whether it's decreased or maybe the same with
It's breaking. No, how we managing making the counseling different from the normal counseling process.
Please, it's breaking. I didn't really get the question.
Oh, I see. There's some problem with the sounds. How about now? Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you better now.
Oh, okay. So I will just read again. He asked about how the interest of client to do some to use the counseling service during the COVID-19 era in Nigeria.
Okay, how did they use counseling service during the COVID online?
Okay, like I said, counseling is moving from the one-on-one, face-to-face counseling to virtual counseling via different platforms. And now this means that the client and the counselor needs to be connected in online. That's virtually using the internet. We need to be connected.
So if we are connected, whether maybe
I have your client's number and the client has my number, if it is via what you are doing now, this virtual,
we can use it with clients, provided we are connected. And then we can use messages, text messages, chats. That mean we can do it, because if we have to remain on face-to-face or one-on-one counseling, we might not really achieve reaching out to clients in this very important and critical time.
So the isolation has made it very mandatory and compulsory for us to cancel via online services, virtual platforms, the different platforms we can reach out to clients during this period. Right. I don't know if I've answered the question.
Oh, yes, I think you already touched the question. Maybe Dr. Moro would like to add some explanation also.
Well,
you can like unmute your microphone first, Dr. Moromoke.
Sorry about that. So I told my head of department have said it all, but physical meeting is also happening. What we ensure is that we maintain all those rules and regulations that guided a meeting one-on-one or in a group of people. For example, if you are going to do group counseling, that social distance must be respected in school, in whatever hall or places we are using. So for example, when we move around the secondary school in Osun State, during the era, this period, we make sure that they are not clustering together. And every child must wear face mask. And also, we also make sure that the school provides hand wash place, that everybody that is coming in for that group counseling will have washed their hand and then come with sanitizer, and we make sure that we maintain social distance. So, because physical meeting cannot be totally cancelled, so at times the internet may create problem. We may still have to meet. So, but we make sure that we respect all the COVID-19 rules and regulations.
All right, thank you very much. And well, now I move to Dr. Yejide about the preparation to be a professional counselor in Nigeria for the is that after students complete their, for example, their bachelor, is there any regulation that they have to do some training or another maybe education that we have to do to be able to be a professional counselor? Thank you. Is that clear?
Is there...
Okay, how do we train to become professional counselors? Is that the question?
Yes, in Nigeria, whether there is a additional...
Okay. Yes, definitely. Definitely. If you remember what I said when I was talking about the when counseling was introduced into the system by the nuns, the Catholic nuns that went to St. Teresa's in Kiadu, I said that the people that they put together to give counseling services to students that were school leavers, secondary school leavers, were professionals in their own fields, but they were not professional counselors. But they could provide guidance. But to say you want to provide counseling, there has to be an element of professionalism. Just as being a teacher, you need to have a professional touch. That's why we have even those that are professors and all that without the qualification as having gone through the regular classroom teaching tutelage. They cannot, go beyond a particular sport. So yeah, definitely you must have master's degree in counseling. But before you get to the master's, of course, you would have a first degree. So when you have a first degree, you're getting there. Then when you have a master's degree, yes, you've gotten there. Then you can conveniently and comfortably be designated or appointed to be a counselor in a primary, a secondary, or a tertiary institution. I hope that answers your question.
All right, yes, thank you very much. Jadi pertanyaan dari Bapak Abdul Qadir Hussein yang pertama tentang minat klien terhadap pelayanan konseling selama masa pandemi tetap dilakukan, tetap ada, tapi mereka banyak menggunakan online counseling. Jadi bisa menggunakan teknologi untuk memudahkan konseling di sana. Dan kalaupun harus bertatap muka, mereka sangat ketat menjalankan protokol kesehatan. Misalnya untuk face-to-face session, mereka harus memakai masker dan harus menjaga jarak dan semua. Tetap dilakukan walaupun dengan keadaan yang berbeda. Kemudian pertanyaan kedua tentang konselor yang profesional di Nigeria. Jadi di Nigeria tetap harus ada pelatihan setelah selesai S1, seperti guru, mereka punya training untuk dianggap sebagai professional teacher atau guru profesional. Begitupun di Nigeria, guru BK tetap harus punya pelatihan tambahan begitu. Bahkan mereka juga menyarankan untuk ambil S2 sehingga lebih profesional, walaupun harus bekerja di SD, SMP, SMA, tetapi master juga sangat dibutuhkan seperti itu. Oke, bagaimana Pak Abdul Kadir? Apakah menjawab pertanyaan? Pak Kadir kayaknya sudah istirahat sebentar. Okay, well, we move to the next question from our student. She asked about how counseling and guidance, counselor apply the e-counseling, because some of them maybe doesn't work the way it is. Maybe the connection, maybe the facility is not there yet, and so how they respond to this situation. Thank you. And Dr. Moromeke can answer this question, please.
Okay, well, I unmute myself. Okay, are you hearing me?
Maybe you can unmute your microphone.
Okay. Well, we have seen it. Even in this presentation, the network stands to create problems now and again. So that's why we cannot exonerate total face-to-face meeting with our clients. And if the colleague that has the question listened to my explanation and your summary, we know that we still have to meet physically, but we have to respect all the COVID rules. So online counseling does not solve the challenges that we are trying to resolve with our client totally. We have to combine approaches in handling counseling services. So online counseling is one of it, which we have been mandated by the current situation in the world to really use. But in case it's not working, we still have to organize meeting, but respect the COVID rules and regulations, so that the person that is coming to us does not cause the COVID-19 from us, or is not bringing it to us. So we respect all that. But physical meeting is also very crucial.
All right. Yes, thank you. And I think the same question from the same person. I will ask for Dr. Grace to answer this one. She asked about how to motivate students who get addicted with the technology, for example, with their games, their YouTube, and they do not have motivation to start. How to counseling this kind of student? Thank you.
With technology, get addicted with technology.
Yeah, that's when students are addicted with their technology, and by giving less time to their studies. Is that what the question means?
We get the question correct, that the students get addicted to the technology, use of technology.
Yes, I know about the addiction, yes. What is the other part of the question?
How to motivate these students to study when they are addicted to technology.
Okay, students who are addicted to technology, giving too much time to it, thereby making other aspects being on especially their studies,
not giving time to their studies, but more addicted to their internet. In that case, we use behavior change to counsel such a student. Behavior change.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe Dr. Yeji want to add some explanation.
Behavior change.
What did you say?
Behavior change. Good study habit. Good study habit too. Good study habit. Behavior change. Good study habits.
Habits.
You can continue.
Alright. Jadi pertanyaan dari Sarayanti tentang
time management. In fact, there are a lot of things. Time management also comes in.
All right, thank you.
Time management.
Yes, people who asked this question. Jadi tadi Sarayanti bertanya tentang pertama itu bagaimana tentang penerapan e-counseling. Jadi tadi disebutkan bahwa memang banyak kendala, misalnya kendala jaringan atau kendala tidaknya, maka digunakan seperti blended ya. Terkadang memang harus online dan terkadang memang harus datang ke tempatnya langsung. Jadi bisa tetapi protokol kesehatan tetap dilakukan. Dan memang terkadang online counseling ini tidak bisa berjalan semaksimal mungkin seperti yang diharapkan. Untuk dari itu diberilah model yang bervariasi. Apakah memang harus hadir ke tempatnya atau seperti apa? Dicarikan solusi yang sesuai dengan kebutuhan tiap-tiap klien yang ya. Kemudian pertanyaan yang kedua tentang bagaimana dengan murid-murid yang tidak termotivasi belajar karena terlalu adiktif atau terlalu menggunakan HP atau teknologi berlebihan. Jadi kalau Dr. Grace tadi menyebutkan bahwa mereka menggunakan behavior change atau mengubah habit atau kebiasaan anak tersebut, atau dengan melaksanakan manajemen waktu mungkin dalam hal penggunaan teknologi yang sudah secara berlebihan tadi, seperti itu ya. Okay, now we are move to the next question. I think this from Suzette. She asked to Dr. Moromoke about what services have been implemented that are most effective when this pandemic is ongoing. And is that service also supported by local government? Yeah, thank you. Please unmute your microphone.
The most effective program that we engage and the state governments fully supported us is reintegration of students back to school after this lockdown. But the lockdown have taken too long time. The students who were at home, they were distressed. They have not learned for a very long time, and they have to come back to school to write exam. So it was the state government that actually invited us, the Department of Guidance Counseling, Osho State, to come and assist them for reintegration of the students back to school. And they gave us full support. And in terms of moral support and the material support that we will need, because they were the ones that made provision for the hand-wash sanitizers, provision of sanitizer to school, and where the children will wash their hand, maintain that the class are not clustering. Because if you go there to tell the student that they should not learn in a clustering environment, and the government is also not putting in place facility to ensure that, then we will not move anywhere. So we did this one diligently, and in our own university, where the Faculty of Engineering also produced their own technological facility to be able to thoroughly sanitize yourself when you are coming into the university. And also they engage the senior colleagues and other colleagues in the department to be as surveillance, so that they will make sure that the students comply with the rules and regulations. So this, and staff, students and staff comply with the rules and regulations. So when you see students not wearing their face masks properly, you can explain this to them, the danger they are doing to other people. So in this pandemic time, we don't take it for a joke. Most of our services that we offer were fully supported by our university and the state government.
Oh. All right, thank you so much, Dr. Moromoke. Ya, jadi tadi pertanyaannya mengenai tentang servis apa atau layanan apa yang paling efektif yang ada selama pandemi ini, dan Dr. Moromoke mengatakan bahwa servis yang menyediakan misalnya counseling tentang apa yang dirasakan oleh klien dan juga kebutuhan apa yang bisa disediakan di masker, hand sanitizer, dan lain untuk mendukung hari-hari dari klien yang paling banyak pandemi. Untuk pertanyaan Dr. Rahman, saya pikir yang pertama sudah terjawab tentang e-counseling tadi kan disebutkan. Kemudian yang pertanyaan kedua untuk Dr. Grace. Well, there's another question for Dr. Grace, and I think all of you maybe can answer this one. From Dr. Nissan. She asked about, she asked about, is there any collaboration between a counselor and government to provide guidance and counseling to the people who are in prison, inmates? Because these people maybe need more psychological guidance rather than only punishment. Maybe Dr. Grace, you can answer this one first. Please unmute your microphone, Dr. Grace.
Actually, in Nigeria, every citizen of Nigeria is being taken care of, where as far as counseling is concerned. That is why you find lecturers, counseling lecturers, specializing in different areas. We have lecturers who are specialized in working with the prisoners, working with that's the inmates in prison, working with children. What do we call them? Children who, the juveniles. We have people working with them. So it is not, like we say, counseling is not only for the people who think they are well. It is also for people who the society thinks they are a walk away, that people who are not, who are doomed in the society, they are not good. But those are the people that counseling focuses most on. Those are the people, those are the actual people that counseling faces and work with. So the inmates, whether in the prisons or these homes, what do we call where we juveniles, where we keep the juveniles, remand homes. So whether in the prison or remand homes, counseling takes care of them.
All right. Yes, thank you very much. And for the last question, have you ever is that ever apply online e-counseling to the prisoner? Like, have you ever tried to apply that?
Yes, what I'm saying is people in that area, you know, we talked about referral. Like I am in marriage and family counseling. It's not to say that I cannot dive into others because I have a foundation, but I specialize in marriage and family. So that even if a case comes to Yejide, who is in adolescent counseling, if it concerns marriage, definitely she will make referral to me. So in case of inmates, what I should do is to refer to people in reformatory counseling.
So they are the ones that will handle it, and we have them in Nigeria.
Alright, thank you very much Dr. Grace. Jadi tadi pertanyaan dari Ibu Dr. Misran tentang layanan yang diberikan kepada para narapidana, apakah di Nigeria ada kerjasama atau memberikan layanan seperti itu. Nah, menurut Dr. Grace, mereka memberikan layanan konseling kepada semua orang. Jadi terlepas dari apakah dia narapidana atau dia anak-anak atau dia orang yang sudah menikah, semua semua diberikan layanan. Jadi itulah kenapa dosen-dosen di sana mempunyai spesialis sendiri. Contohnya dokter dia konseling spesialis di bagian keluarga, married and family. Jadi bagian keluarga. Kemudian ada yang spesialisnya di bagian anak-anak, ada yang spesialisnya di bagian mungkin narapidana atau orang yang di penjara seperti itu. Jadi semua orang berhak mendapatkan layanan konseling terlepas dari apapun situasi atau keadaan dari orang tersebut. Yes, I think that's the last question so far we have. Thank you very much for your time, your kindness, your everything that you give to us today. It gives us a lot of insights and a lot of new perspective, and we hope we can do more collaboration like this in different way, or maybe we can visit each other, maybe lecture program, university and vice versa, like that. And the last, with the last remark that you want to give to us, maybe we can start from Dr. Grace and Dr. Moromoke, and the last Dr. Yejida to give us a closing statement like that.
Closing. Yes, we appreciate you so dearly. We appreciate you a lot for starting with us, probably. We appreciate you so much. And from the lectures you have given today, I believe that you will from there learn more about counseling that is just starting in your own university. And it's a very good step that you went ahead, not sitting back to think that I can do it on my own. You know, you went out to get ideas on this counseling, and that is a commendable step that you have taken, and which we are ready at all times when you call on us. We would like to develop your counseling. We would like to develop your counseling department. And also remember, I mentioned some association. I don't know whether you have started your association, counseling associations in Indonesia. It is important. It is very important to start such association so that you have a body that you can always fall back on, learn from as you go for conferences. Don't stay back in that the professional bodies, counseling professional bodies are organizing so that you learn more and bring it back to Indonesia. And I know it will be great.
All right, thank you. Now, Dr. Moromoke want to give.
Yeah. Well, it's a great. We really appreciate your interest in working in collaborating with our university, especially the department. We're starting with the Department of Guidance and Counseling. Well, I know that this is just a starting point. A change of academic program goes beyond the online lecture. We are hoping that this pandemic time will be over very soon, that we also want to see inviting you down to our university for a change of academic program in forms of sending your students to come and do their masters in our university. We have profession of in our own university. Also, Dr. Grace Onoha is an associate professor, is qualified to even supervise a PhD student. So, and a change program had a lot of value to what you are doing in your own university. A university must be an international environment where people of different races will come together to build on knowledge, a quality knowledge that will change the world for better. So I believe this is a starting point for us, and we are going beyond the sky in our collaborative efforts. We appreciate the rector of the university, the vice rector, my friend Ikfan Aris, and Mrs. Eti, because you have done justice. If we disseminate this lecture in English language and nobody to help us to communicate it in the best language your people understand, we may not make much impact. So we appreciate you very much. And we appreciate your dean as well, and looking forward for a more productive collaboration with your university. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Moromoke. Now, next, Dr. Yejide want to give us closing statement.
Let's see, what can I say? Where can I start? I just want to start
appreciating you for making the job easy for us. At least you have done a good job trying to communicate our intentions and points to our people over there. And I want to appreciate Nurul as well. She welcomed us well, and I thank her for that warmth. And for Dr. Salim, I don't know how to pronounce Salim Koromto.
Yes,
thank you. I appreciate you. And ultimately, Professor Harris Ipman, for kicking off this. Yeah. We appreciate you. The university would not relent in its effort to ensure that binding us together at this initial stage, a more fruitful relationship with your university. Thank you.
Thank you very much for all the amazing speaker for today event. And we come to the end, and I will give back to Ms. Nurul for closing this event. And thank you very much. I would like many thanks for all your time, all your dedication for today. And I hope we can meet in one day after, and keep healthy and
Thank you.
Well, okay, thank you for our excellent speaker. It's good and have more value to know it. That's important knowledge for us, right? So more the short conclusion about all our topic is guidance and counseling is a progress and development for guidance and counseling practitioners or counselors at school or anywhere for counseling or client. And even though during the COVID pandemic, guidance and counseling is still very important in our lives so that we can develop optimally and keep up with the times. And the last, the counseling process cannot only by face-to-face, but also we can do e-counseling by other technology. Jadi bimbingan konseling ini merupakan suatu kemajuan dan perkembangan untuk para praktisi bimbingan konseling baik di sekolah ataupun di mana saja, baik itu untuk klien atau konseling kita. Dan meskipun di masa pandemi COVID ini, bimbingan konseling tetap sangat penting dalam kehidupan kita agar dapat berkembang secara optimal dan mengikuti perkembangan zaman sesuai dengan Society 5.0. Dan terakhir, proses konseling tidak hanya bisa dilakukan secara face-to-face saja, tapi juga bisa melalui e-counseling atau konseling elektronik. Well, may all of us get the value and benefits from the lecture. Finally, we come to the end of this event. Kita sudah sampai di tahap akhir dari event ini. Before this, we will take a peek by our screen. Miss Wade, can you take a peek by our screen? Okay, open your video. For our audience, open your video. We will take a peek. The first screen until the last screen. Okay, finish. Once more, thank you for Dr. Moromoke. That's excellent knowledge to us. And Dr. Yejide, thank you so much. Dr. Grace, thank you for all your topic. And please remember to share your PowerPoint to maulidanurul@unj.ac.id. You can see that in Gmail. You can see that Gmail in chat. Okay, thank you so much for our audience to close this event. Let's reciting Hamdalah, Alhamdulillah. Grateful to God because our event today is success. Well, for all, thank you very much for coming in General Stadium of Guidance and Counseling in Society 5.0 and your nice attention. Okay, I will end this event. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and see you in the other.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Hope to meet you very soon.